Happy Friday. We are back.
Hello.
Hello.
Tom,
Hello.
Is your microphone working, Tom?
Yes, mate. It's working fine.
Okay. You sure?
Yes, I'm sure. We're all
Cool.
good.
Excellent.
I have the fan on behind me, though, if there's any background noise, because the tank's a little bit warm.
Oh, is it still warm down there?
It is warm down here. Yes,
Yeah.
we are at 26.5. So, yeah, fan's on. Fan's on.
Do you want to know what temperature it is here?
7.
14.
Oh, that's nice, though. That's nice.
Yeah, well, I'd ordered a Reefers Network bikini, and it's unfortunately for the viewers, it had not come in time. But I'm sure you can picture I'm not going to pretend, but no. Anyway, good evening, Leo. Thanks for coming on.
You're
With
welcome.
Such a serious face for a Friday afternoon, Friday evening.
Good to be back. Well, yeah. It's a very serious matter right here.
Oh,
So,
okay. It is.
Is it
Well,
9 p.m. there? Is it 9 p.m. there, Leonardo?
Yeah, it's 9 p.m. Yeah, exactly. 1 hour later. Yeah.
Okay.
He's itching to put the dance music on. I can see it in his face. Get the glow sticks out and dance around the coral farm.
Exactly.
That's the one.
Every Friday.
And Jamie's got a box of rock behind him tonight.
Yeah. I said the last time you saw me, it would be no more freshwater stingrays. So we've made a bit of progress.
You have.
Cool.
So is that wet or dry right now?
It currently is. I don't know if you can see
He's
that.
it's forehead.
Right.
Oh, okay.
It's filling at the minute. I'm 2 days into filling.
Wow.
And yeah, well, I've filled it a couple of times with tap water just to sort of get all the dust and rubbish out. And now we're on the RO fill to try and get the phosphate out. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, let's get this Friday show started and say hello to everybody that's joined us before we come on to that in a minute, Jamie. Let's have a look who's in the chat then. Emma, happy Friday. What's up, you salty sausages? Good evening, Emma. Hope you're good.
Good evening, Johnny Boy. Nice to see you.
Good evening, Techers Reefer. I don't know what your name is, but let's call you
the one.
Techers.
Hello.
Oh dear, what else we've got in here? Jamie's here as well, and in the comments. So look. Anthony, good evening.
Good evening, Anthony. Good evening, Terry.
Good evening, Bristol Reefer.
Hey!
Hey, Lee.
Hey, Nick and Stacey, how are we? Good evening, everyone.
Oh, I'm going to skip mine so you can have a go, Ron.
Oh,
Ready?
Who is it? Go.
Hello, baby Dave.
Back to you, Leo.
Hello, New Folk Reefer. Good
New
evening.
Folk Reefer. Good evening.
You fuck reefer. Evening, Matt.
How are we doing, guys? Happy Friday.
Melinda, da. Hope you good, my darling.
Ooh.
The dove from, well, not above, from below. Ironically.
Well, what's it nibbling on? Having a peck?
Yeah. Good point.
And my fat balls? You know what fat balls are, don't you? Oh, fuck it. Dave's Reef, good evening.
What else we got in here? Leo?
Harry, good to have you
I
here.
love how he sounds like he knows him.
Like you know them.
It's like his door neighbour.
He's here. He's off camera.
The offshore reach around. Good evening. How are we doing?
Good evening, Neil.
Here he is, Steve Boy, East Coast Reacher.
Steve.
Hope you're good.
Good evening, James. Nice to see you. How are those pasties? Oh, he sent me pasties.
Oh,
He sent me a box of pasties, overnight delivery with frozen packs and all the rest of it. Whoa.
unreal.
Only thing I've got to ask James, and he won't be able to reply, obviously, is the calorie content of a pasty. Anyone want to have a guess? One pasty?
there's some butter pastry going off here.
Yeah, a good one's got to be 450, something like that, right?
Oh,
900.
Be more in winning one of those as a prize on one of the games.
Well-
so is that what the plan is? Please tell me it is, because I will really get myself out and we can play a game. Anyway.
1,000 calories.
No.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Oh,
1,000 calories. So I've only eaten the one,
Wow. Okay.
but
Very
they're
good.
absolutely amazing. Thank you so much, James.
Yeah. Thanks, James. Appreciate your kind donation. You must have lost my address. Leo?
Amanda, good to have you here. Good evening.
Good evening, Amanda.
my lot, how we doing? Good to see you.
Oh, here she is. Bernadette. Good evening.
Did you give
Sure.
Bernadette one of the pasties, Ron?
Yes, we both had one.
Ah,
Oh,
good.
Okay.
Yep, delicious. Good evening, Reefer Fish. That's a new name.
It's a new name. Yes.
Good evening, Reefer Fish. That's not a very out there name.
That's good to have new people.
Yes.
Good evening, Haley Barr.
Leo's like, I can't wait for this to end. This is like just messing with my head right now. We're looking at corals all day, and now I'm going to look at names and try
A
and
lot
figure
of
out
effort.
who-
This a lot of
Too much effort.
Hello, Haley.
Hello, Haley.
Orange Reef, how we doing? Good to see you on the Reef AF the other day. Salty banter.
Good evening, Chris.
Reefer Fish. Leo's a... Do you want to decipher that? Anybody? Trophy.
Trophy goat.
Trophy goat.
Trophy goat.
Champion goat.
Yes.
Small
Champion
gold
goat.
man with giant ears goat.
Yeah. Blue man.
Golden. Yeah.
Blue hairy man with horns.
Leo, do you know what goat means in like as in the acronym?
Yeah, I do. I do. Yes.
Oh, he's like, yeah, of course I do. Of course I do.
I hear it all the time, so I know what it means. Yeah.
You know the first letter stands for genitals.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm.
Yes, for sure.
Oh dear. Is it you next, Ronald?
It's your turn, Tom.
Me. I'm trying to figure out who we haven't seen. Have we seen my lot?
Yeah, we've done that.
We've done my lot. I'm trying to figure out who we've seen who we haven't shut up. Coach. Good evening, Coach. Hope you're good.
Hey, evening, coach.
Hope you're good. There you go.
Good evening, Tony Close UK Reef. That is a terrible name. Sorry, Tony. Come on.
It's actually fantastic. Looking fab. Oh, thanks very much. Very nice of you. Who else we got in here? There you go, Leo.
Good evening, Intrinsic Reef.
Well done.
Good to have
Give
you.
you that one. You pass.
Thank
You can stay on the show.
It's, not the easiest
He's
one.
fucking gutted.
Good evening, Shark Man.
Evening, Liam.
Oh, here they are. The best couple by far in the reefing of it to date. Sharon and Tommy. I don't want
evening, guys.
tell us what you're drinking, but I can guess it'll be alcoholic. Good evening. Hope you're both very good. Happy Friday to you. Over to you, Ron.
Oh, we've already done Reefer Fish, Tom.
Joe.
Reefing aquarium
Joe,
composition.
you're supposed to be on holiday in Greece. What are you doing? Enjoy anyway.
Thanks for coming on, mate.
Is it
Come
my
on,
turn?
Leo. Yes, it's your turn.
Dirty
It's nearly
D's
done.
Reef. Dirty D's Reef.
Good evening, Dirty D's.
Good evening, Dirty D's.
Pop Reef. I don't recall Pop Reef before either. Have I missed Pop Reef?
Is he allowed to be on, Jamie? Are you allowing him on?
Oh, of course. Everyone's welcome. Yeah. Yeah.
I know his online name for sure. Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, right. Okay. He's one of your regular goat fans.
Admirers, yes.
Admirers.
Yes, for sure.
There's
Yes.
so many.
admirers.
Here he is, the man from Leicester, who's coming on Sunday morning as well with me. Nice to see him on the chat. Hope you're good, mate. Hope you had a good
Good
week.
evening, Mo. Good evening, Scott.
Correct. Spitty boy. Well done, well done, well done. Thanks for joining us, mate. Leo.
Ives.
That's a new name as well.
That's a new name as well. Yeah, but it's all Leo. He's pulling in the big
I'm
guns.
attracting all
He's
those.
attracting. Oh, he's like we're just like sort of like beeline until he honestly.
The
I
Charles
spoke to-
Manson of reefing.
I don't email Leo. I have to email his agent, and then his agent speaks to his agent, and then that agent speaks to Leo, and then Leo says, "Go on then."
Maybe.
And it takes a while to get back. Anyway.
Yeah.
Go on, James.
Oh, good evening, Recife Conde. Oh, God, I've got that long, haven't I?
Rancid condom, that stands for.
Well, bienvenue.
Oh, God, I haven't got a clue who we've missed here. Right, evening, Scottish Reefer, evening, Shaggers. Bit late getting in here. Yes, it is. I hope your hair donation to myself is in the post after Wednesday night stream.
That is some Barnett, though, isn't it?
It's brilliant. When I met him at the Reef Summit, that's what I kept looking. I was like, yeah.
It's the most.
A frag of Joe's hair won't base out, unfortunately.
Well, the question is, would I milli put it or should I glue it? Anyway, and I'm not doing it live. And please don't send it me. We've got another one here. It's for you.
Oh, natural sandbed reefs. Good evening.
Ah, nice. Never heard of this person before, but she sounds like somebody well known.
Is she the drunk woman that touches people outside of pubs in America? Well, you call them saloons, I think.
No, she's the woman that tells everybody that you go out for a meal, it's your birthday, so they all sing and like pour.
Oh, yeah, that's the same woman.
Yeah, it's the same woman. Yeah.
Good evening, Amanda.
Good evening, Amanda. Chris Beckley's wife. For those that don't know, thanks, Amanda. Hope you're good. You and the family are good. What we've got in here?
Whose turn is it?
Jem.
It's
My turn. Hi, Jem.
This was all Ron's idea of taking it in turns. For those of you that are watching, I'm not taking a hit on this one.
Yeah, I'm actually in my submarine. It's not the spaceship, but my submarine in the coral farm. To answer Jem's question. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a bit more topical.
Yeah.
We get to that.
Triggerfish. I need to learn these names. Sorry.
Kyle.
Reefy Reese is in the house.
Legend. Good evening, Reese. Good evening, Jammer Reef.
They've got the whole family here.
Oh.
That's you, Leo.
Oh, hi, Isabel.
She's an amazing artist. Some of the paintings and stuff she's done is absolutely unreal. Trying to get her to do some t-shirts for us or some reefing artworks, it would be insane. Right, that is, fortunately, everybody. Thank God.
Hello.
Should we do it again? No, I'm joking. So thanks to the 70 odd of you that have tuned in this Friday evening. Hope you have had a good week. Weekend obviously to come. Leo, thank you for coming on again.
Yeah, you're welcome. Good to be here.
You were clearly bored, nothing else to do.
Yeah, for sure.
So you've been kind enough to share some amazing footage with me that I'm going to show the viewers tonight. But what's been happening? What's the latest? What's happening over the pond in the Netherlands, in Holland? What you been up to?
Yeah. Well, I'm as you may know, I'm still building up the new show tank. So I've added the first corals a couple of weeks ago, and I think around 200 aquacore frags right now. So I'm currently in the middle of filming everything and finishing up filming, editing, and the video will go online pretty soon. So it will be nice. And I'm also working on another show tank already. So I'm also just connected all the PVC work, etc. So I'm also gonna document the whole process and also bring it to YouTube as soon as possible. You
are kind of YouTube natural in front of the camera. I've got to give you that.
Well, I have been a teacher for 12 years, so I'm pretty used to standing
in front of people that don't say anything. Yeah.
Yeah, and bore everyone. And so yeah, I'm pretty used to it actually. So maybe that helps. But I stopped teaching completely right now, so I needed something. I needed to feel important. So that's why I thought I would just talk to a camera now. And yeah. So I just started my YouTube adventure. It's only been 3 videos so far, but I really like it, and the responses have been pretty good so far. So I think I will just continue with it.
Yeah, really good. No, really good, really good. So where are you with the build then? I know you've obviously got your channel. People can go and check out. I'm sure most have already seen it already. Where are you in terms of that display tank with the flow and the rock? That was the latest video I saw.
So flow, rock, etc. It's pretty much finished. Of course, you'll always have to do some minor tweaking, but it's just a matter of finalizing the coral scape, and that's pretty much done. So then it's basically just maintaining the tank, checking the corals if they if they're healthy, if they're growing, and maybe start trimming here and there in a couple of months. And it's pretty boring actually from here on, because all the building up has been done, and most of the work has been done. So it's going to be more following the whole process of seeing the corals grow. And there will be some challenges if the corals get really big. So it will be nice to explain that a little bit at some point. But the coming months is just following the progress and growth, etc. So
cool.
Yeah.
Just out of interest, do you ever send out signed pictures of yourself? Because I mean, Melinda's saying straight away, if you were a teacher, she would have been a great student with jewel down her shirt. So just a request. I know some celebrities do send out signed photographs, but if you do, let me know, and I'll pass on.
Maybe I should start doing that on my website. But it's a good idea.
She sent some videos, so we'll watch one of these videos. I think it's going to get the conversation flowing a little bit. So which one do you want me to start with first? Because you said there were a couple of different
maybe
lighting schedules, and then the farm overall.
Yeah, just the farm overall.
Farm overall. Okay, here we go. Farm overall.
Should this come with a warning? Because last week caught me a little bit off guard. Not going to lie.
Oh, with our hand.
Yes.
Yeah, so this is the frag systems. Part of the mother colonies are also in this system, as you see. So these are 2 3-meter farm tanks, and right in front of it, it's a show tank. And that's basically all of the farming we had for the first couple of years, and we are building on the first floor now to build another 12 meters of tanks. So
wow.
This is the new show tank, as people also saw it on YouTube. So this is the tank with the finished rockscape, all the flow, lighting, etc. complete. Basically ready.
Stripies.
I was just thinking
a lot of stripies. Yes, yeah. 4 or 5 stripies in this tank. So this is basically the whole tank ready for corals, and here a little bit more of the frag systems. So I was able to just choose from my own frags the ones I like most, and add them to the show tank, which was really nice to do. So right now we are, because summer is always a little bit quiet, most people are on holidays or at least outside, so sales are a little bit down compared to winter. So we are expanding on the first floor now to build another 12 by 1 meter tanks in total. So 4 tanks of 3 meter by 1 meter. So that's something for the coming 2 months. So if that's finished, we have basically double or triple the capacity that we have right now.
Wow.
Yeah.
I've got a question for you, Leo. Do you, at any point when you walk into the farm and have a look into your tanks, get really pissed off that stuff has grown too much?
It never grows too much. Because
it drives me nuts. Everything just starts to grow into each other and like join, and you've got to snap them all apart and off the racks. And
Yeah, the racks are a little bit of a pain. So we are in the middle of changing all the racks to acrylic plate because it's much easier to clean them, and if corals attach to them, it's much easier to take it off.
Yeah.
So we are basically quitting with all the frag racks and completely switching to the acrylic plates. But you know, when you're in the farm every day and you're basically, my main job is to just make frags every day, just check all the corals. Are they touching? Do they still have some room?
Yeah.
So yeah, if you're just in the middle of that every day, then yeah, it doesn't grow that fast. So, you know, it's easy to keep up with the growth for sure.
I've got to ask you. Sorry, Jay. There's a section here with your new tanks. If I can find it there.
Yeah.
You couldn't have positioned the lighting, the spacing of the lighting, any better for that brace bar, could you?
Well, you know, the radions are only there as additional supplemental light. So I don't really care about the radions that much. Compared to the halides, it is very minimal light anyway. So you just have to keep that cross bar really clean. So you have to really clean it off with a scraper probably once a week to keep it really clean. But other than that, I don't really rely on that radiant for light intensity anyway.
I don't think Tom saw the radians at all, because when you look at it, it just looks like metal halides, and there's a gap, but not there's XR30s in those gaps.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say.
I didn't notice that.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were being sarcastic.
No. Me? Would I?
No. Yeah, the main player is those halides, and for the halides, that crossbar is actually right in the right spot for sure. Yeah.
Go on, Jamie. Sorry, what you wanted to ask?
You went off on what I was going to say. I was just going to say to Leo, you do realise there's a cheaper way to get a blue lighting with your halides than using radions, right?
Yeah. What is it? What could be cheaper?
The old classic combo of 250 halides and like actinic T5s or something would be.
Yeah, true.
Well, I noticed when I watched this video when you sent it me, and thanks for sending it me last minute, Leo. Really appreciate that.
You're welcome.
You've got the ATI, haven't you? Hybrid.
Yes.
You must. Yeah, because that's what I've just put one on in the garage, and I've put one on in the garage, and I forgot how hot they get. So what does it do in terms of the farm? Because you must have some. You must hear fans going on all the time on those, surely.
Yeah, they get very hot for sure. We do have AC, just AC through the whole farm, and I placed extraction vents above all the different parts of the tank. So every hybrid, ATI hybrid, has a extraction tube right next to it. Yeah. So it basically extracts the air and just sucks it out of the building immediately.
Wow.
Okay. So all the heat is extracted out of the building immediately, and if I want to, I can actually clean the air in the whole farm 4 times an hour. So it's a lot of ventilation if needed.
So you could be in there just farting all day.
Yes. After 15 minutes, you won't smell anything. Yeah.
Amazing, but don't forget you're in a submarine, my man. So just be careful tonight.
Yeah, right now I'm screwed.
Danger.
Especially if there's a knock on the door. I couldn't really get my head around the park. So like I said, I put one in the garage, and it I don't know what setting it's at, but it's obviously a fairly high setting. And I went in this afternoon with the Apogee palm meter just to test it. And I was getting, so this is a foot, the light is a foot from the base of the tank. No, tell like 2 foot, sorry. The tank's a foot, and there's a foot from the top of the tank to the light. Yeah, 2 foot. And at the base of the tank, it was 500 to 600 par.
Yeah.
And an inch to the water, it was nearly 1,000. Yeah. And I was like, holy, because I've not tested them before when I've used them before, because I've never really had an accurate palm meter. I was like, oh my days. So yeah, they are powerful.
Yeah, they are powerful for sure. But the weird thing is, of course, we can compare different types of lighting using the same water because we have several tanks connected to each other. And if I give, for instance, corals 500 par with radions only, I will definitely bleach them out within a couple of days. But if I give them 500 par with hybrid or with T5 only, it's not really a problem. So I'm not really sure what it is, but it is quite interesting. So with LEDs, you have to go much slower or really acclimate them to that much intensity. But a par of 800 with T5s never has been an issue for me, and a par of 800
with,
yeah.
Do you think that's because of the spreads? It's less of like a direct sort of beam of light, burning a coral.
Yeah.
It's more of a.
I don't really believe, because light is light. If it's a candle, LED lamp, T5 or halides, light is light, so that it shouldn't matter. But I think there's probably a difference in either spectrum, color blending, intensity. It can be many things, but I'm not really sure what it is. But I think it is the less uniformness of the light, probably. Yeah, you're right.
I'd definitely say I'm a massive fan of halides. I think as good as all the LEDs are nowadays, the halide is still the closest thing to daylight we can get.
Yeah,
when
but
you
that's basically
it's beautiful.
I think that's basically to blame the manufacturers are to blame for that, because I think it's possible to make a LED light that's basically identical to a halide when it comes to spectrum and also when it comes to intensity and spread. But I think, manufacturers that just don't make them.
You're probably right. Probably in theory to get the exact same Kelvin, the exact same part, everything perfectly the same. But there's something about when you see a halide, it just looks different. It looks more authentic. It just
I
think electricity was cheap. I would probably go back to halides.
Yeah, it's probably that spotlight effect that you have, but you also have the reflector around it, because half of the light of that halide actually goes up into the reflector and then is reflected all the way around. So it's a combination of the spread of that reflector plus that extreme spotlight effect with all the natural shimmer, etc. I think the combination of those two plus the very white yellowish light of the halides in many cases makes it a very natural looking light.
I think
the only
downside to halides is for about 10 years when I was working in the trade years and years ago, I think for the entire 10 years when we were running halides back in the day, I had never had any skin on my elbows because we're going in tanks and touching it, and it's a instant singe.
Yeah, plus you get a sunburn after 15 minutes under the halides. You actually get a sunburn on your arm because of the UV. Yeah.
What did you run in this farm before, Leo? We've not really delved into light, seeing as though we're talking about it this evening. We may as well sort of expand a little bit. What did you start the farm with back in the day, lighting wise? Or have you always been a T5 man?
I started in the hobby. I started with halides, then switched to T5s, and when I became more professional farmer in the previous building, I started with hybrids, and in this farm I actually started with hybrids only, and the show tank now is halides. But I've always been a massive fan of the T5 because it's just so easy. You don't have to think about spectrum. You just put in the bulbs and switch them on and off. I think for bigger scale, it just makes more sense than to buy €1,000 radions and just have to add 50 or 60. It's just the initial expense is just really high, and I just went for the cheaper option.
Bit of a nerdy question then, if you're talking T5 for a minute, out of curiosity, what's your bulb selection of choice?
If you go for aesthetic, if you go for aesthetics, I would say 50-50 coral plus blue plus.
Yeah.
And if you really go for maximum growth, I would say the blue plus and the aqua blue special 50-50, which is more yellowish. So the colors are definitely more bland. But if you use a hybrid setup, it doesn't really matter because in the evening you still have the blue LEDs. But for home tanks or for a home setup, I would recommend 50-50 coral plus and blue plus. Yeah. for the
And are the
ATI
bulbs
bulb.
still easy for you to get hold of over there? I take it. With how many?
Yeah, it is quite easy, and twice a year I just contact the manufacturer, the ATI, if it's for the latest news. Are you still making them? What's the what's going to be the next couple of years? So we keep a strategic inventory, but I don't see them stopping production in the coming years. So
I don't expect them they're going to stop production with how many units you've got, because you're probably keeping them in production. How many units are we talking about, incidentally?
We have because upstairs now is dismantled, but if you also count upstairs, we run around 80 bulbs in total. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, 80 bulbs in total.
Wow.
Which I have to change every 9-10 months. So that's a lot of bulbs. Yeah.
And do you change them all in once, or do you do them in pairs? Because I've been told you should do them in pairs, so you're less likely to shock the coral when you do the change.
Yeah, we change 50% per lamp. Let's say an 8 bulb hybrid. We change 4, 4, and 4. So every year we change. Every half a year we change 4. So roughly every 10-11 months they get a refresh.
Log of which ones are done? Do you mark the bulbs, or would
I just write it on the lamp itself? It's because if I write it down somewhere or online or in my notes, I will lose it. So I nowadays just write it on the lamp itself, so I don't forget. I also then you just see it every day, so you never forget. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So ask another question regarding lighting, which seems that we're on this topic for a minute.
Yeah.
What's your suggestions or your opinions based on your experience about lighting levels then? Like power levels and I suppose not just intensity but duration, maybe schedule. What do you think is the ideal?
I think it's really hard to say, because spread, intensity, spectrum can be so different. So it's very hard to compare those. But in the most ideal cases, you would have 12 to 14 hours of total photo period, I think. 6 to 8 hours of full spectrum light, which contains a lot of blue, but also a lot of greens and yellows and oranges and reds in the spectrum. And you have a coverage of light, so you don't have any shadowing at your acropora colony. So your acropora colonies are being lit from every side, or as many sides as possible. So that's the most ideal lighting setup for me. And it doesn't really matter if you do that with T5s, LEDs, or halides, I think. I think everything could work. So it doesn't really matter what type of light you use.
Any numbers you think people should be hitting for? So give us you've got some other corals other than acropora. Obviously, you've got some torches, haven't you, in the farm from memory?
I have one torch colony.
One torch colony.
Somewhere down in the back.
Okay, down in the basement. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Keep it to sticks then. So what would you be suggested range to a hobbyist at home who's trying to replicate some of the success that you have?
Depends on the species, but for most species, between 250, 300, and 500 par, I would say. Okay. That's enough. You can for some species you can go higher, up to 800, 900, but that's not really necessary for optimal health and coloration. There are some species that will really get the best colors out at really high par, but for most corals, 500 maximum is enough for sure. Also depends on your nutrient levels.
Nutrient level,
yeah.
Ties in quite well to John Wright question here. So he's asking about how you think your corals adapt to the hobby. So let's say you were to run your lights at 800 or 900 par, and it goes to your average hobbyist tank running 180 to 200 par. How would that pan out?
Well, some of our mother colonies are at very high par for sure, especially the species that came from Australia originally. But our frags grow for 2, 3, 4 months after fragging, and those frags are always under lower par because frags are more sensitive to very high light conditions. for some reason. So we keep the frags under 300 to 500 par and not higher than that. And in my experience, it doesn't really matter if you keep them under T5s or LEDs or halides. They will do well in every tank if the basic conditions, like I just mentioned, if those are all, if you tick all those boxes, a frag will do well in every tank. If you run a tank with very blue light only, maybe your frag will change color over time. That's definitely possible. But if you just run full spectrum at least a couple of hours a day, give them 12 to 14 hours of a complete of a photo period, and it doesn't really matter what light setup you use. Of course, you also have a difference in visual, because visually corals can also look different under different lights. So it's not only the physical coloration that the coral actually have, but also the visual appearance of them, and that's very hard to say. That can change in every tank. Yeah, depends on your light.
So in terms of par again, question there for reefer fish, what species, in your opinion, can handle the highest par?
All Australian species. So let's say the shortcake type of acros,
like a macrolados.
Yes, the Abrotanoides or robusta, those species. Millipora can also handle very high par for sure. So that's basically the species that can handle the most flow and light. Yeah.
And just on the side of that, what should people be looking for if you think a coral is having too much or not enough? What sort of telltale signs, again, from your experience, should people be looking out for with that? Since we're still talking about lighting, serious conversation on Friday.
Low light, probably just first of all a browning of the coral, so the colors get very dark, and you probably see no to very slow or little growth. And too much light, especially too much light too quickly, because I think you can get corals adapted to a lot of light if you give them a little bit more time. I think most species can adapt to some extent, but if you give too much light too quickly, you see the areas that hit the light directly. So the tops of the corals, the branches that are horizontal, for instance, they will become very light and pale in coloration, and polyps will be retract, and the underside of the coral will be still very colorful or brown, but the top will be very bleached. So there will be a big contrast between the top of a branch and the underside of a branch, which is a very clear indicator for light bleaching.
I've had that just this week. So I did a major trim in my tank, which is next to my desk in my office. And it's got.
I'm glad you said tank then, Ron. Sorry.
And a whole load of corals, and I took great big chunks out, and the branches that are now exposed that were under large branches are now getting really, really light in color and bleached, and polyps aren't extending and things like that, because they're now getting that much higher spectrum and part that they weren't getting.
It's probably fine. They will probably come back after a couple of weeks.
They're already starting to.
Yeah.
Color
so in most cases, you don't have to do anything. They will just slowly adapt to the new lighting conditions. But especially smaller frags, if you just bought new frags online, for instance, and you put them in too much light and you bleach them out, sometimes they will actually die. But if you have a bigger colony that's established in a tank, that's less of an issue. Yeah.
So on that note, well, two questions here, I suppose. First one is, there is always I've always been told that corals take to adapt to light changes, and there's a lot of people, obviously me included, in the past, and a lot of people watching that have changed the light settings based on an Instagram post, something they've read, something they've watched online, changed it, not seen a result, and then changed it back or changed it again. What's your sort of, I suppose, interpretation of that, or what's your advice to people changing light settings? How should they do it? How long should people wait until they change it again, or wait to see if it's made a positive or even a negative effect?
Yeah, one of the things that I like most about the T5s is that you cannot question, the settings or the spectrum that you give them, because it's just a given. It's just a fixed spectrum that you give them. There's only an on and off button, basically. So what I would suggest is look at another reef, preferably someone local that you know what their water parameters are. Just see what light settings they have, try to mimic that, also try to mimic the total lighting period, and just set and forget. So don't adjust anything. And if you adjust, wait at least, let's say 1.5, 2 months maybe, before making any other changes. And one objectively thing you can look for is alkalinity consumption. If alkalinity consumption goes up, then you probably did a good thing. If it goes down, you probably did a bad thing. If nothing changes, yeah, it's probably useless. Sometimes coloration can improve as well. Sometimes visually, but sometimes also like physically. But that's very hard to measure. You can start taking photos, before and after photos, but then you have to really match the same settings, etc. So I think it will be very subjective. But just don't try to play with those sliders every day, because the corals definitely won't appreciate that.
Well, talking about corals, we've talked about lighting long enough. Let's have a look at some.
Oh, sorry, I meant to cut the audio out, but I didn't do that. Yeah, this is basically what full spectrum looks like. So it's very yellow, very white, full light. All the colors are very well represented. You see the greens, you see the yellows, reds, everything there. You see on the left, if I have a coral that I get from different farms or from a hobbyist, I will put them on a double plug, as you can see there. So I won't accidentally sell those, because I definitely lose track at some point. But if I have a double plug, I definitely know, okay, I have to save that one.
So in the farm, you can hear people going, "It's been double plugged."
Yes.
Okay.
I knew Colin was going to walk into that joke, so I just sat in silence.
Any Leonardo famous goat names of corals we're looking at here on this little mini clip? Any that you can give us? Any names stand out?
Well, you can see a small on the left. You can see the yellow, the bumblebee with the red polyps. I think that's very high demand, but unfortunately very slow grower. On the right, far right, you see the pink Floyd, and yeah, the rest are not really. In the middle, it doesn't really have a name.
You're not interested in them, so you don't name them. Okay.
No, not everything has a name, or not yet. We have so many corals growing, and some are never sold. I never sold a frag of it yet, so at that point, I don't give them a name. So, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's another overview of the tank, but then in full spectrum, because a lot of people that see the blue videos, they always say like, "Oh, I want to see full spectrum videos because blue is cheating." So I also always make a full spectrum video. It's a little bit less. Yeah, this is it.
Nice.
Good girth on those.
Yeah. So as you can see in the reflection on these tanks, we actually run only white bulbs. So no blue plus bulbs, but only the coral plus or the aqua blue special bulb. So in person, it doesn't look that nice, but it's perfect for growth. And the par is even higher.
Wow.
Yeah.
When it comes to photographing your corals, then any particular method? Because obviously you're saying you've got to grow them under a white bulb. People want to see the Disneyland sort of magic, don't they? When it comes to buying something, what's the?
Yeah.
You don't have to give us your trade secrets. The goat, Leonardo the goat.
We always try to make a video of the frags under blue lights plus a filter, because those videos are for Instagram, and I think Instagram is very nice to show off your corals under blue plus filter. Yeah. And for the sales photos on the website, we try to use full spectrum photos, but of course with a customized white balance setting to really bring out the coloration in the corals. Because if you use all auto settings, you will just have everything will look brown under full lighting. So we do use custom white balance, but it's basically an old camera. It's a stock kit lens, so we don't use very fancy, expensive cameras or anything to make our photos. I really want to buy a new camera for sure with a proper macro lens, so I can take a little bit sharper photos. But yeah, then you're looking at like 3,000-4,000 euros. So I still have to wait.
Yeah, and is the juice worth the squeeze? Are you going to sell more corals with higher definition images? Probably not.
Probably not, but it's mostly because I like to make better videos, or it's mostly just for myself, just because I like it. But I definitely don't need it for sure. Yeah.
I think you sell more corals if you start giving free signed photographs out with your corals, Leo.
Apparently.
Oh dear. So for somebody that's going to, I think we've touched on this before when you've been on the previous streams. If somebody that wants to have a bit of a delve into the SPS world, which obviously you're a guru of, what would be your advice for people to sort of the first steps? What should they do? What should they make sure they've got sort of set up and checking for? What would you be sort of your little go-to guide for people maybe watching at home thinking, I want one of those and I want to try a bit of that?
Yeah, I would just find someone local that can help you, that has a successful tank, and don't look too much online for advice or watch videos from manufacturers, because they only want to sell. They want to sell more stuff, right? Which is they're a company, so of course they want to sell more. But you should definitely in the beginning stick to the basics. So doesn't matter the size of the tank, but just get a decent sized tank, get some live rock. That's something I always recommend. Do your water changes, do your testing. Doesn't have to be ICP, just do your manual testing every week. And start with secondhand equipment, because a lot of people stop after 1 or 2 years. And most equipment that's perfectly fine you can buy for 50% of the price secondhand. And just don't listen too much to the manufacturers. Keep it simple. Buy some live rock, buy a simple skimmer, get some good flow, some good lighting, and just go from there.
Cool. Question for you from Baby Dave. I have a question for you. I have a Styler 4 Pistolata, pink Aussie, struggling to get its colour up under 250 par. During natural light, it looks slightly pink, but under LED, it looks rubbish.
Yeah. Well, Australian Styler 4 definitely need a lot of light, and it needs a lot of full spectrum light. So you definitely have to give it at least 6 to 8 hours of full spectrum light, preferably high intensity, so 400 or 500 par of white light. I don't know what kind of type of light you use, but let's say if you use radions, you should at least run full channels 6 to 8 hours, not overnight, of course. You have to adjust the corals to it, but you have to run full channels 6 to 8 hours to really get those colors out. Otherwise, both visually, because pink corals won't look good under blue light, but also really to get those colors out, you really have to run high intensity full spectrum.
He's saying, Radion's AB plus 6 hour full spectrum.
Yeah, well then it probably needs more light. You have to put it some higher up in the tank, give it a good amount of flow. So the combination of high intensity flow plus high intensity light should probably do the trick. If that still doesn't help, then you have to probably look into your nitrate levels. You have to run nitrates between 1 and 5, I think. That's optimal for especially Australian corals. So low nitrates, and get your phosphates around 0.05. Otherwise, Australian corals tend to brown out very easily.
That's interesting. Okay.
That's going to stress Dave. Yeah. Dave will not sleep now.
We actually don't. Yeah, it may be interesting to say we don't farm a lot of Australian corals, because corals from Indonesia are much easier to grow. They're much more forgiving for swings.
Yeah.
hardier, faster growing, faster to get the best coloration out. So we tend to choose Indonesian stock if we go for new corals, and the Australian corals look very beautiful when they just arrive after import, but it's almost impossible to keep those colors.
So he's saying, "Oh, throw it away then," based on your advice.
Yeah. That's definitely the easiest solution. Yeah.
There was a question in here from, where are we? From Peter Parry. Evening, Peter Parry. Can you ask Leo, does he ever use ACT T5s? Never heard of them. Please educate us.
I think he means actinics.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. No, I don't use them anymore. When I still was a hobbyist, I did use them, especially to get those nice colors at night. Because before the whole LEDs came out, I used the old SunPower, ATI SunPower fixtures, which only had T5 and not had the LED channels.
The 4 rubber buttons up left.
Yeah, right, which used to break off, and
Yeah.
So back in the day, I used to run 2 actinic bulbs for the mornings and the evenings to get that nice blue pop out. But ever since the LEDs came out, I don't see the use for actinic T5s anymore. And I think that slot can be better used for a higher power bulb like the blue plus bulb or the white bulbs. So you can use it if you don't have any LEDs. But if you have a hybrid setup, I would definitely not use them anymore.
So a lot of people in the UK that are watching, the cost of running a T5 unit is insane. I know that from experience. The performance is great as well. As we're talking about, the statistics speak for themselves. But in terms of people like Dave, the majority of people with a Radion, whether it's a Gen 4, 5, 6, whatever, what do you think people can do with the latest of technology that most reefers are using, as I've just explained, because it's affordable to an extent and accessible as well, because we talked about it earlier. The bulbs have been talked about for a while in the UK that get out of it, you're not going to be able to get them for much longer, and certain distributors have stopped sort of supplying them. So based on what people have got in their home aquariums right now, what sort of tips do you think people could do regarding lighting to probably get a little bit more for their tank? Do you think any pointers there you could give people?
Just run full spectrum, 6 to 8 hours. And if you can buy 1 XR30 or 2 XR15s for roughly the same price, I think the price difference is maybe $20 or 20 euros or 20 pounds. If you can get 2 XR15s instead of 1 XR30, it's also better light spread. So that's something I would recommend. Just go for multiple lights, which are smaller instead of one bigger one. And just don't be scared to run full spectrum, to run very yellow, white light during the daytime. You hear a lot of people say that will fuel algae growth, etc. Maybe true, but it also fuels your coral growth. So if your corals grow, they will also combat any algae from developing. So you have to get those corals growing and just give them the light they need. So that's most important.
There's a question here from somebody regarding, I don't know what Brody's is. Somebody's going to have to educate me, unless I just can't interpret that right. What sort of path for a Brody's do you find the best? Is there a joke there, or is it a type of coral I've never heard of? Anybody want to decipher that for me? Or if Dirty D Reef want to tell me what it should be?
Okay, scroll down, he says Ambrody's.
There you go. Thank you.
I still don't know what it means.
Same here.
No.
Let's have a look. Okay, question from Scotty Boy. Has Leonardo cracked the code on speciosa in a mixed acro species reef? If so, please tell.
No, I haven't. And that will probably never happen because I decided not to farm them anymore. I actually talked with a lot of guys in the US who were successful farming them for a while at least, but even they stopped farming them because long term, and then I mean 2 to 5 years, they will all die. So they basically gave up, and that I also gave up basically because of that. I think key to the secret is probably different microbiome. So if you want to keep them successfully, maybe you have to keep them in a totally separate tank. So not combined with any Australian or any Indonesian corals. Give them a lot of particulate food. So they need a lot of a constant flow of nutrition, medium to high light, and laminar flow. So that's probably the secret of keeping them. But you know that they're very valuable, of course, but I don't want to sell frags that basically always die in my customer's tank. So we just completely stopped selling them and stopped trying to farm them, because it, in my opinion, in 99%, it only leads to a lot of disappointment with our customers, and I rather not, I rather sell something else. Yeah.
Cool.
So sorry, I didn't crack the code. But if you do, please tell me. Yeah.
Yeah, and he'll send you a signed photograph, obviously.
Yes, I will. I promise.
I've got up the runner T5. Like this getting all the bulbs. Yes, it is. It is. Hey, Kumar. Hope you're good. Evening. Happy Friday.
Dirty Devil has just cleaned up the word that's abrantoides.
There you go. Thanks to Dirty D's.
Yes. So what was the original question? The best lighting on par for
I believe so.
Yeah. Well, it is definitely a high light, high flow species. So I would definitely say very high randomized flow. Let's say 500, 600, 700, 800 par for sure, and make sure to give them a lot of full spectrum light. Yeah. But definitely the flow is really crucial to keep them long term. Otherwise, if they reach a certain size and they don't have enough flow, they will just start to bleach or start to STN overnight. So definitely get the flow up around the colonies. Yeah.
Pretty sure, is that not what Steve picked up at AAC last weekend? I'm sure he did. Sure he got one.
Yeah.
He's still using two actinic T5s morning and night, but I'll order 2 more Blue Plus. There you go.
Yeah. So the lamps are perfect for the dusk and dawn for sure. So that's why I definitely would use them. But other than that,
Cool. Fair enough. Okay. So, what's the most popular at the minute? Coral going out of Leonardo's reef. You say you're a little bit quiet at the minute during the summer period, but surely you're still turning over a few orders. What's on the hit list at the minute, or the top 10?
Well, I think tenuis is always very popular in general, especially the orange one, the pink one, the red ones. So any tenuis.
Is that how you market them? Sorry, just as the Leonardo's reef, the pink tenuis.
No.
No. Come on, give us some names. Give me some magic.
Angry Bird, Orange Passion.
Yeah, here we go.
Emerald Hill. It's a lookalike from the Walt Disney. We also have the Dalt Wisney, which is also
the Dalt Wisney.
Yeah, it looks like Walt Disney, but it isn't Walt Disney. So we didn't want to sell them as Walt Disney, so we call them Dalt Wisney. So that's also a popular one.
That was clearly after a night in the coral farm of dancing and whatever else that goes on. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So all those special tenuis are in very high demand for sure. Other than that, maybe the PC Rainbow is also classic and always popular. It's much easier to keep than tenuis, so that's a benefit for a lot of especially new hobbyists. It's very easy to color up, easy to keep, but it has a very, very nice coloration under blues and under white. So PC Rainbow is a classic. Yeah,
I think it's a
PC Rainbow is fantastic. Everyone that's got a PC looks different. It's fantastic.
Yeah. So that's Millipora was very popular for a while, but lately, the last year, has diminished a bit. So not a lot of Millipora lately. We still keep them, but we just don't have them a lot for sale because we don't sell them that much anymore. So it's mostly just weird corals that we have. So corals that are very weird in shape or coloration, can be any species, or really the high-end tenuis.
But before we go to the news, I've got one question for Leo. So Thantine was doing a talk about his coral farm at Tyler Gardens, obviously, and he said the one coral that keeps their whole business going is pulsing xenia. He wouldn't have a bad word said about it. It's the base coral that keeps the business afloat. Have you got an equivalent? Is there a coral that you sell that is common, easy to grow, but just keeps you going?
Unfortunately, not really, because we specialize in acropora only. And most of our customers are looking for the special acros, because the acropora that grows very quickly, very easy to keep. They can get it probably locally somewhere, or in the local fish store. They will get a big piece. But our customers are really looking for the high-end stuff. So I don't really have a coral that's very easy to grow. Maybe the PC rainbow, but I don't really have something similar to pulsing xenia that is basically like weeds, and I can just endlessly sell, unfortunately. So not really, but I think PC rainbow is definitely one of the faster growing corals that we have. We have an unlimited amount of frags, basically always available. So if you maybe have something to compare, then it would be that one. Yeah.
But for the price, for its tolerance in terms of parameters, the coloration you get, all that combination as a coral, it is winner chicken dinner for me, that SPS coral, for people getting into it, because you can see and the other thing with it, and obviously I know, all jokes aside, you can see when you really do stress it, but in terms of your nutrient levels, it does give you a bit of a color chart in itself as a coral, which I think is brilliant for anybody that wants to get to a point where they ditch, not necessarily ditch full time the test kits, but start to learn with their eye in terms of how the coral is, in terms of water parameters. And I really do think it really sends you on a different journey. It did for me anyway, as a coral.
It's my canary in the coal mine and my big farm system. When I have things absolutely at their peak in that tank, my PC rainbow are just a lovely, stunning pink and red, and then the base of the frag plug is bright green.
Yeah.
And it's that absolute Instagram, holy shit, I'm doing something right. But when they go completely all red and well, I find mine sometimes go all red, and you lose the green. And
that's
interesting. As boring as fully green, but when you get those colors, whoa.
Yeah.
It's like the canary of your reef tank. It sort of tells you what's going on, doesn't it? Right? Because it will change color based on. I'm feeling good, I'm going to be green. I'm feeling a bit ropey, I'm going to go reddy brown. It's one of those corals.
I grow it so fast, Jamie. I sell it for, I think, 35 quid for a massive frag. I mean, your average other people online are 60, 90.
I'd say 60 is the average.
It's but it grows so fast. I'm like, got to make space for more juicy stuff.
But you're right, though. There is, and this is a bit nerdy here. So go on then, Leo. Question for you then: polyp extension or coloration? Which one gets you going the most? Which one do you look for?
Coloration.
Okay.
Yeah. Polyp extension is just it depends on the time of day. That's for sure.
It's just a feeding response. That's all.
It's mostly feeding response, but also polyp extension at night is much better than during daytime.
But you understand why I'm asking you that, because there's a lot of people that see it as polyp extension. Oh, look at the polyp extension on that; is crazy. As in, that means that coral is really, really happy.
Well, I think it's a very good indicator for pests. So if you have some pests in the tank, polyp extension is definitely low. So that's a very good indicator for that. If you have very healthy tenuis, for sure, and then you have very big polyps, and especially with tenuis, that's very hard to accomplish. But still, I prefer coloration over polyp extension, because I think it's something much more permanent and not depending on the time of day, etc.
To be fair, Ram was making a good point that most polyp extensions for male corals are in the morning. I couldn't agree more.
Yeah. That's what I said, right?
We're past the hour mark, Ron.
Yeah, we are. Oh, I'm so sorry, Leo.
Reefing news! Reefing now! Motherfucking reefing news with Ronald McDonald! It's reefing news, but mostly bullshit with Ronald McDonald! Strap up, it's time for reefing news! Watch your ego, it might get a bruise! Get ready for reefing news! Tuck your bullets into your shoes! It's reefing news, but mostly bullshit, just some nonsense from a fucking twit! Reefing news with Ronald motherfucking McDonald!
Okay, let's get reefing news underway, shall we? So the first piece of reefing news I have is that you have found a new puffer fish. So showcasing a possible hybrid lineage between 2 of 3 known Arathron species, Arathron mappa, Arathron millilineatus, and Arathron carduus, and boasting a striking, almost ethereal look. So what they're basically saying that's unprecedented about this is the xanthic colours, so which in Greek I had to Google and check. It stands for yellow, but it's more of a white base with black scribbles on it. But I have to say it's a very beautiful fish. Do you guys ever, or have you ever kept a really big, fully mature puffer? I had a dog face puffer, and I'll be honest, there was some days it did bigger shits than me. It was such a struggle to keep on top of nutrients. Anyway, that was the first bit of news for tonight. Second little bit of news. It's not really fish related, but it is reefing related. Check that bad boy out for a float valve. Have you seen these yet, Tom?
What's that?
Yeah,
well, obviously a float valve. Duh. Sorry,
I can hear the blood rushing to your genitals as I speak, and it's not my voice that's doing it; it's the float valve. So, unlike a traditional aquarium float valve, this is called a topaz valve, right?
Okay.
A cord is attached to the valve at the top of the arm. So, see the wee one at the top there, with a weighted stainless steel stopper at the bottom and an upper stop. As the tank empties, the float travels down until it hits the bottom stop, pulling the valve open. The valve then remains open, allowing the water to run and fill the tank. Yeah. As the tank then fills, the float travels upwards and hits the upper stop. Guess how much that float valve is?
Well, I think somebody spoiled it in the comments, but it does look just like what you'd have in a toilet.
Yes, it does. Yeah. It looks like a cistern valve.
Yeah, system valve. Is that the price?
Yeah, thanks, Rob. Fuck you. So they're available in 4 sizes: 15 mil, 20 mil, 25 mil.
Oh my god!
2 millimeter, $269.
Wow!
But they can handle up to 150 psi.
Leo, what are you thinking? You buying them for the farm?
I don't see the relevance for our hobby, to be honest. I for sure won't get one. No.
I still have the first float valve I bought off of eBay for £1.89, and it still works.
Yeah.
Wow.
Anyway, next piece of news I found really interesting. Where is it? Here we go. So, 500 meters from the seabed, there is a coral reef. Now, what I've actually done here is, for everybody, let me see. I've actually got a little link here. If you want to type that into YouTube, you can watch the entire submarine footage of when they find it, and then it goes up the actual reef the whole way. Now, don't be expecting a beautiful coral reef at 1,640 feet deep in the ocean with no natural sea light. So don't moan at me that there's not yellow tangs and fucking goniopora, okay? It's just a gigantic structure. Anyway, so it's been unseen until now. They've actually found 3 of them. off of Cape York on the Great Barrier Reef. So yeah, they reckon it's gone unnoticed for about 120 years. So it's kilometers wide, but it's 1,640 feet tall. I thought that was absolutely amazing.
Wow.
Like I say, it's not pretty, but it's amazing that they've actually now got the technology that they could find it. And
I love how we just keep finding things in the sea, though.
Well, that's just that. You know, the moon's like, oh, well, you know, we've had a golf ball, we've taken some selfies.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, there's a gigantic...
There's new fish that we've never... New species, new... Yeah.
Yeah. And the last little headline I found was interesting. Newcastle fan bummed to death by a zebra. A Newcastle United fan... Oh, sorry. I should have...
Just looking at Leo's facial expression.
A Newcastle United fan wearing his replica kit was bummed to death by a randy zebra when he mooned the beast while on safari. John Kearsley, 38, was enjoying a 12-day trip in the Tanzanian bush with wife Doreen to celebrate their 10th wedding anniversary, but his holiday of a lifetime ended in a bowel-bursting disaster when oil engineer John took it upon himself to actually taunt the male zebra with around 100 yards from their vehicle. There you go. Anyway, so poor old John was... I normally read these enough times that then I can actually keep a straight face, but being bummed by a zebra. That was reefing news, everybody.
Reefing news! Reefing now! Motherfucking reefing news with Ronald McDonald. It's reefing news, but mostly bullshit with Ronald McDonald. Strap up, it's time for reefing news. Watch your ego, it might get a bruise. Get ready for reefing news. Tuck your bullets into your shoes. It's reefing news, but mostly bullshit. Just some nonsense from a fucking twit. Reefing news with Ronald motherfucking McDonald.
Brilliant.
So before we go on, just one more thing before we get back into the rest of the stream. I just want to give Liam a wee shout out for his petition. We're at 89 signatures. So Liam is fighting for sharks to be not taken out of the hobby entirely, but policed, only sold to people that can actually home them, give them enough room. And things like that. So, yeah, well done, Liam. Amazing. 89. Let's try and get to 100. Come on. Let's try and get to 100. It's on change.org and it's protect sharks being sold for the pet and aquarium trade. I'll see if I can actually drop a link later on, but yes. Well done, Liam. And please, everybody, get on there and sign it. It's free.
I'm doing it now. What's it
Absolutely.
I'll do it. I've actually got it still on my screen here.
Do you have anything like that over where you are, Leo? Any people with selling sharks or fish that maybe you don't think? No.
Well, the wholesale, the Young Marine Life sells sharks, but I'm sure they do it in a more sustainable way. But their customers are big zoos all over Europe, etc. So they do have some sharks actually in stock, but I don't know any hobbyists at home with a shark. No.
Well, Liam actually bought one, had a tank big enough for it at the time, went around and actually spoke to local aquariums and things like that, and they said, yes, when he's big enough, when he's too big for your system, we'll take him. He got too big for his system. He went back to these people, and these people said, no, we've already got one, and he's eating all our fish, so off you fuck. So he was in a bit of a pickle of what to actually do. He has actually rehomed it, and it's in a great tank, and it's been well looked after, but it's something that people need to consider.
Well, I think the same goes for the very big surgeonfish, the Sohal surgeonfish, for instance. Almost no one can house an adult acanthurous fish.
Yeah.
So people should really consider buying one of those. Those fish get like 30 to 45 centimeters in the wild, and they need, they need 3, 4, 5 meters of swimming space at least.
You hear that, Liam? Because the man who bought a shark has a sohal.
Well, if you can house a shark, then you could probably house a sohal in the same tank, I guess. But yeah,
for a little while.
Yeah.
I had a pet shark a little while back, and he got a bit too big for my tank, so I just had to sort of mount him.
Sorry, you mounted him.
I didn't really have a pet mako shark, you fucking idiot.
Come on, Jamie, tell us what's been happening behind you, because there's been a lot going off in that room this last couple of days, week, whatever. Give us the rundown. Come on.
God, what hasn't happened? Right, so first horrible job I did, which almost drove me insane, was getting this fucking thing level again. Because I should buy one of those float valves, because obviously after I flooded the room, the floor and that just moved and warped and sunk. So I was 22 mil, probably like just under an inch out of plumb. It was massive. And then, so I had to drain the whole thing. Anyway, the adjustable feet, I've dropped on one side, raised on the other, shimmed it with aluminium. But obviously, where the sump's in place underneath here, well, you really can't see, you can't reach the back feet very easily. So I can get my hand down there with a spanner, and I can move the nut probably about 10 mil at a time. So it took me 3.5 hours to wiggle all the nuts around to level it out. I said to Steve the other day, it was like, do you remember Austin Powers trying to turn around that little luggage trolley? And it was like that. It was back and forth, like, But yeah, got it done.
Please tell me you made that noise as well while you were doing it.
I made a few different noises than that, trust me. Yeah. I think the retired couple next door were doing their Hail Marys after what I was saying. So anyway, got the rock in, all dry rocks, made it up. Dan Krusty's Reef come around and helped me do that. Built it, cemented it. I must say that I don't usually do product shout outs and I'm not affiliated, but that eMarco cement, that is brilliant. Absolutely brilliant stuff. Got it all built, obviously it's all dusty, so I filled it up twice with tap water and drained it to get all the dust and crap out. And now, even as we speak, I'm filling with RO water, and this is on day 2, and I'm just over halfway.
I'm glad to hear you like that eMarco stuff. I absolutely love it.
Really good to use. Really good to use. I use quite a bit of the D&D Reef Putty as well, just to sort of do the first sort of hold, and then backfilled with that cement, and it's amazing. I reckon I could probably pick any of these shelves and pick the whole thing up from it. It's solid.
Well, my entire scape is one unit because of that eMarco cement stuff.
Yeah, I'll definitely rate it. I mean, it's 45 quid for a bucket, but you'd probably use one bucket to 50 boxes of putty. So, it's the same equivalent, and it's so easy to use. So I really did well with that. So that's where we are. I've got the rock in there. It's on the first RO field to obviously leach out as much phosphate as I can. I don't know what's going to come out of it. It's reef bones type stuff, like dead live rock essentially. But obviously it's still like levels cheaper than buying live rock to start with. So I was prepared to go through that phase.
Who makes that rock, Jamie?
I don't actually know. I got it via AAC. AAC sourced it for me, but I don't actually know who makes it, where it's come from. It isn't reef bones. It's that sort of thing, though. Right.
I'd be really interested to find out what it is. So, are you saying that is it mined old?
No, this isn't. I don't believe it's the mine stuff. I've used that in the past. That the sort of fossilized stuff you're talking about, right? Yeah. It's not that. It really looks like dried out live rock, and it's porous, it's light, and it's really good stuff. I can't remember the name of what it's called, but yeah, I've got AAC sourced it for me, and it was much more economical. So I've got 100 kilos in there. So obviously you can imagine what that would have cost to go properly. Even like artificial rock, what that would cost to go through. So,
But let's be
Yeah.
honest, Paul would have given you a 90% discount.
You don't have to work tomorrow.
I don't know about that.
You've worked 7 days already. You don't have to work an 8th. It's fine.
No, yeah. I obviously still paid as a customer for it, but it was just a much cheaper, economical way to do something on this scale than it would be any other way. And I don't like the artificial stuff. I don't like the fake cement painted stuff.
There's terrible stuff. The Carib Sea stuff should just not exist. It's awful.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just not porous enough that I can't see it ever being a filter medium. You know, like a live porous rock would be. So, but yeah, that's where we've got to now. So I'm probably anticipating at least 2 or 3 drops. I'm basically filling it up today. I'm going to whack on some circulation and leave it running for a week, measuring my phosphate as I go. Phosphate going in is obviously non-detectable. I've checked that on the RODI. And this morning, when it was filled up to about here, I was getting about 0.5 ppm of phosphate, but I haven't circulated it yet. So it's going to pull out quite a bit. And then I've got a holiday for 2 weeks in August. So I'm hoping to be on my 3rd fill by then. And I can just leave for 2 weeks circulated.
That's mental. Have you thought of it like upgrading your RO? Like that one I got for £299,
Wow.
producing a litre a minute.
I have. I've got a 200 gallon per day RO, but obviously I can only run it for the hours I'm here. I don't want to go out and leave the house with it running. So when I say I'm 2 days in, I'm probably cumulatively 6 hours in. You know,
Just leave it on YOLO.
Yeah, well, I've done that before, haven't I?
Yes, you have.
Yeah.
Any pet hates, Leo, from setting up a new tank like Jamie? Any faux pas, mistakes you've made over the years? You're happy to share with us?
Well, I think the rinsing is a very good idea. I also always rinse the system at least a couple of times, even to get, all the stuff out of the PVC and the glass, etc.
With beer, obviously. Yes.
Yeah, with beer.
Yeah.
Beer.
Okay.
Yeah. But what I definitely would do, Jamie, is maybe add a few live rocks at least to seed that rock, but probably you're going to do that after the rinsing period.
100%, yeah. My plan is once, obviously, because it's just fresh RO at the moment, once it's salted up, I plan to put some live rock in the sump. So have that in there, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, perfect. I'm also not a big fan of the artificial rock like the Carib Sea stuff or the real reef rock. First, it's very expensive, and second of all, it's not porous at all. And it will never, even after a couple of years, it will never be live rock. With your live rock, Jamie, after a while, if you just seed it with natural rock, everything will become live rock because it's so porous and made out of natural materials. So you can better go that route if you don't want to spend all the money on live rock, then go with the artificial stuff.
That's exactly what I'm thinking, because I've got two mature systems behind me which I can take a bit from, and I'm just going to buy some more to go in there. And the idea behind it was if I put all the live rock in the sump only, obviously when you get live rock you get good stuff and bad stuff, but it's all going to be contained. I'll get the bacterial seeding, but if there's any, I don't know, bobbit worms or whatever might come in, they're going to be in the sump. They're not going to be in here.
Yeah.
So, best of both, really.
You need to embrace the bobbit worm. You need to,
Well, Tim,
so
Tim, Wakefield Reef, Tim, Tim. He's got one in his tank. Knowingly got one. He has, from conversations we've had in the past, he has admitted that he wondered where some fish have gone in the past.
I'll bet.
Yeah.
Just feeds it.
He knows where it lives. As in the rock work. He's seen it come out and he's fascinated by it. So much so, he actually feeds it. So he's like encouraging it to get bigger, and like he's probably going to name it, give it a little like dog lead. He's going to probably take it on a walk. I don't know where it's going to go with this bobbit worm, but he's very fond of it.
They are amazing, right? I wouldn't be in a rush to put my hand in near it though.
I lost. So not the DT downstairs. The 8 foot I had. The 8 foot I had before the Red Sea. Before that, sorry, an earlier tank. Let me just say that. I wanted a pair of blue throat triggers. Yeah. And at the time, my LFS had crosshatch triggers in, which were just amazing from Hawaii, but they were just so expensive, couldn't afford them. Got a pair of blue throats while I was having the 8 foot tank built. Put them in a Dolav in my friend's cellar. With live rock, like Leonardo was saying, big piece of live rock that we're going to put in the tank, male and female. Came to get the fish. I don't know whether it was the male or female that was missing, but one of them was missing. And these weren't small. They're not small fish, are they? You see in an LFS, they're decent size. Emptied the whole tank, couldn't find it. Just had a trigger missing. And then my mate rang me up about 6 months later, and somebody had gone to his house to buy some live rock off him, so he was setting up a new tank. This big piece of live rock that he used to have in the middle of the Dolav, they dropped it on the floor, and a bobbit worm came out, and he was over a metre long. So that's where my trigger went.
That's amazing. They're amazing.
Well, minus the trigger.
I've only ever seen one in the flesh, and that was working back in the trade when we used to get live rock coming in quite regularly. And you open up a box of live rock, and that was the best. I used to enjoy that the most because you'd see what was in there. Like there'd be pistol shrimps and stuff that's all come out in transit. And there was this one box we opened, and it had this bobbit worm, like you say, must have been about not as big as that, but 2 foot long. And it literally, its jaws were big enough to get around your hand, and it was still alive. And you picked it up by the base. It was like grabbing a snake. It wrapped around my arm, and I've never shit myself so much. But its jaws just flashing around. But it was incredible.
Yeah, it does give you the
I slammed it into a bucket, and I was like, "That is wicked. What are we doing with that?" And my old boss at the time, Russell Homereen, came in and just put his foot on it and stamped it into the ground. I was like, "No." But he knew more than me, obviously, being a retailer and that. But I was like, "That's incredible. That is the most awesome thing I've ever seen in my life."
Interesting.
But yeah, I don't want in here, so that's why I'm doing that.
Yeah.
Any nightmares like that, Leo, that you've ever experienced in the farm?
No, not really. We do use live rock, but I never encountered any exotic animals like that, fortunately. So I think most of the rock we get from the wholesale has been in those trays for at least a couple of weeks. So all the bad stuff basically falls down. So that's that pretty much eliminates all the crabs and bristle worms and the bobbit worms, etc. So never had anything like that.
I have another question for you to actually clarify if you're a true reefer or not. Have you ever accidentally left your RO machine on?
Oh yeah. yeah. Back at my parents' house in the basement, we had I put the RO in the same small room as the where all the water and the washing machine, etc. was. So I flooded that room at least a dozen times. Yeah. But nowadays we use those float switches everywhere, so it doesn't really happen. I can just leave it on overnight and it will switch off automatically. But I should have done that a long time ago.
It's funny that we all fuck it up, right? At least 2 or 3 times. We've all ruined a floor before we listen to the advice that's given to the time, but we all still do it.
I'm trying to find this picture I've just downloaded. So I've obviously changed a few things in the garage this week for the 100th millionth time.
I was giving my next question. If you got anything to show us,
I've got an average picture. Let me see if I can show you this. Hang on, download it. Just emailed it yourself. So I've got the. Is this it? No, that's not it. Hang on, sorry. Apologies. So I've redone the garage. So I've got a 9.5. It's 9.5 foot cold table on warehouse racking. So your pallet racking, yeah. Which I'm in the process of cladding to not just make it look nicer, but obviously from a rust point of view and whatever else. Because obviously, as we know, salt is horrendous when it comes to rusting things and oxidization, etc. And I've got 2 gyres in the so I'm running the vat. I need to find this picture to show you. So I'm running the vat that I used to use for making my water changes in, which is about 500 litre vat. That's full of live rock at the minute, and I've turned the vat into the sump. So I've got a coral tip.
Is it one of the photos you sent to us? Do you want me to pull up?
Yeah, can you? Because I'm having a bit of a
right. Which one do you want? We've got one with the lights off, one with the lights on, and then further down a full kind of zoomed out with all the stuff plugged in.
Yeah, do that one. Do the latter. I think I'm struggling to find out where I've put it. So yeah, so it's on pallet racking, right? And so I'm using the original glass sump that people use as a normal sump, as an area that I can put corals in, Leo, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I've got his fat as my sump, yeah. So that's the one. Thank you. So that grey vat that you can see underneath the
back.
Yeah. Okay. So that is full of live rock. That is now my sump. That's thermally insulated.
GRP then, Tom.
Yeah, it's thermally insulated. They actually sold to go in the ground for water storage. Yeah,
Oh, that's nice.
It was that good that in the winter I could use it to mix salt water before this garage was done as it is now, and it would pretty much hold temperature for quite a while. It would be really, really worth investing in. The Teco chiller there is just literally I was just positioning it to check that I could put it there, because one of the biggest learning curves for me with a chiller is they're only as good as the exhaust that you can use.
Right. You've got aircon in there though.
Yes, we've got aircon. Yeah,
superb. That is a game changer.
We've got aircon in there. So yes, we know that. So the grey vat is now the sump. So the pallet racking where this coral table is on, I've removed the bottom front section, as you can see, or horizontal bar, whatever you want to call it. But the back one is still in place. Structurally, I was recommended to leave it there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've put a gyre in. It's hard to see from that picture. In the 2 sections of the sump. Well, what do you need to attach a gyre to? Well, anything.
A magnet.
A magnet. Yeah. I think you kind of know where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
Yeah. It took me nearly 3 hours to get the magnets to pass the cross member, or whatever terminology is the right terminology to use, that you can't see in this picture.
Yes.
I had to put fishing line. I put fishing line, and I was dangling them. And the minute it went anywhere near that pallet racking, doosh, yeah, I was pushing it down with screwdrivers and everything to get it past the surface. And then what did it do? It just flipped underneath, stuck underneath. So I was just like, so I ended up having to get some cardboard and put the magnet on the other side of the cardboard. So it was almost like teasing the pallet racking. And then when it was dangling, I had to let go. And then I found out that one of the gyres, it didn't want the magnet the way the magnet label was on the magnet. Oh no. It wanted it the other way around.
Yes.
Because that's just what reefing's all about, being awkward. So one gyre wanted the label the right way around, the other gyre wanted it upside down. Does that make sense? So yeah, it took me about 3 hours.
So did you get it all the way down there and it was the wrong fucking way around?
Yes.
Oh my God.
You do realise though, Tom, that every sort of 2 months away, when you've got to descale and clean your gyros, that's going to be.
Well, what I've learned from using the gyres in the sumps before is when you've run them enough, the magnets do tend to stick to the glass quite well. So you can remove the impellers, or whatever you want to call them, the pumps themselves, and clean them and leave the body there. Take the shaft out. There you go for Friday night. Take the shaft out and give it a rinse, and we're all good.
What you can do, Tom, is instead of taking the whole gyre out of the sump, take your impellers and the cages
out,
and then leave one of the internal magnets. You can just pop it off the 2 pins. That will hold the magnet in place.
Yeah, need to do that. Yes, but yeah,
what a nightmare.
Yeah.
So what's the plan here? So you've got biological filtration from your other systems in there.
So the garage has been running for about 3 years. It was a combination. You know how I always talk about money, time, money, getting the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
Well, when I first set the garage up, I was fortunate enough to have the funding to do it, but didn't have the time. And then I had an issue. I talked about it about probably 6 months ago with the Red Sea ATO doing a firmware update and just stopping.
Yes.
So I had a massive salinity swing and it killed what SPS I had left. Well, not all of them, to tell a lie. The majority of them. Salvaged quite a few and put them in the display tank downstairs. And the display tank's just growing. And I'm not saying like I'm complaining, it's growing. That's a good thing. We want things to grow, obviously. But this hobby is getting, for me, and I don't have to have this system, and I don't have to run, the modern reef and whatever else to talk about going back to the calcium reactor. It would be nice to be able to fund the hobby. So it's not going to be, I'm not going to do an eBay shop. I'm going to do a lot of trading because I want to collect corals and, and I suppose expand the collection of acropora I've already got. But yeah, it's the setup is designed to take corals or frags from the display tank downstairs and grow them and give them and swap them to fellow hobbyists. That way, if I ever have an issue, I've still got access to that coral, and it also gives people, an opportunity to get a coral at a reasonable, free donation, whatever you want to call it. So I'm doing a lot of swaps. So there's a lot of corals that people are going to be swapping with me that I haven't got in the collection that I'm just going to swap for another coral, irrelevant of price or how much I paid for it, just to expand the collection. Really, that's the idea.
So what lights you've got running there? And I see that you've got a great big gap with no lights. Is that intentional that you'll have corals that like lower light levels?
So I've got Blue Peter moment.
Oh,
I've got 4 of these.
what are they?
These are
our 3s. I've got 2 daylight and 2 blue ones that I'm going to run on that section of the coral table. Oh, and I dropped an XR15 in the sump. If you go back to that picture, you'll notice there's only one XR15 in the now. So the rail. So you can see. So you can see there's only one section lit up, the front bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the RMS rail.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's got the hanging fast thing. Right. Okay. So I'm sure people can kind of understand what I'm trying to describe here. So I was trying to I don't know how, I think the RMS rail is 1.5 meters long, something like that, roughly ish, something like that. And I was trying to do it so that obviously I've got lights over the sections of the sump. Do you understand what I mean? Slide them around on the spiders or whatever you call them. Yeah. Well, as I was putting the last one XR15 on, which I got from John Wright, who's in the chat, he gave me an amazing price. Thanks, John. But unfortunately, I've just killed one of them. I pushed one of them down, and as I pushed it down, the mount or whatever you call it, the hanging bracket on the end of the RMS mount just decided to come off. So that XR15 just went in the sump like that.
I had it a couple of times as well, but if you immediately rinse it under tap water, just take it apart and let it dry, it will still work.
I've left it in the sump. It's still there now.
Oh, okay.
I'm joking. I'm joking.
I'm not sure that works.
I've just put frag plugs on it. I'm joking. No, but no. So that was fun. That was fun.
What's the beer in the photo?
Listen, I'm going to guess Peretti. Is it a Peretti? I could tell by the label. Knows a bit.
You could tell by the label. It's a fucking barcode. How good
when you get to my level 1, when you get to my level 8.
But like, I know people watching are going like, that's nothing to rave about. The amount of effort that's taken, like 4. I mean, the weather's been a bit shit earlier in the week, raining and whatnot. The amount of effort. I mean, the cable management is horrendous. It's like transformers and the plugs and labeling it all. I mean, I'm sure people can do 10 times better, but I'm happy with that to start with. But just just everything that you buy, it just doesn't seem to last that long because the MP40s, there's 4 of them on it. I think I've got 6 or 7 altogether. The magnets, they're not happy with each other. So have I married them up? I mean, do people pair their wet side and their dry side up so you don't mix them up? Because
No.
I never did. I know that's a daft question. I never did, but I've got some wet sides that just don't like some dry sides, and I don't know why.
It's Rob in the chat. He says exactly this. When he's got a tank that big, you see his updates every week. He's like, nothing's broke this week. What's going on? When you got so much gear, something always breaks. Something always goes wrong.
Well, I'm trying to get them on. I don't know what mode it is, and again, excuse me ignorance here, because I've never really. I'm a bit of a plug and play. If it's designed for flow and I plug it in and it gives me flow, done, tick. There's sometimes I think too much technology can be a disadvantage, as daft as that might sound, because I think it can overcomplicate things. But I wanted to get that wave motion, because it's such a large tank. Obviously Leo's a big advocate of flow, and 3 of them are really 2 of them are happy with it. I think it's like the pink color, like a pinky rosy color that you get, and it's sort of I don't know what you call it, but on the control, the light just sort of ascends, or pulses, probably the right term to use.
Anti-sync
I'm just trying to get that, that without, because my original idea was to put gyres in the middle of the tank to create more of a corkscrew effect, with flow. But as I've just explained, the fun I had in the sump trying to get the magnets in, you don't want to know what happened when I tried doing it at the top of the tank. So it gave that up. So I just thought I'm going to get the four MP40s running like that. But one of them is just getting really, really, really hot, and then the other one, the wet side, is just sort of like it's. I think there's some magnetism issue because it's just not holding on. So
you have to get it literally nanometer perfect to line up, don't you? Otherwise, it just
as you can see in that picture, one of them's like upside down. I need to use the the stickers to hold the cables in at the right height, etc. There's lots of this isn't the finished article. This is just sort of, you were asking me what's happening with the garage. This is sort of where we're at the minute.
So that's 9.5 foot long, is it, that tank?
Yes. Yeah.
And are those MP40s giving you enough? MP40s giving you enough push down the hole?
They are. This is what I was trying to say. They are, if you get the right motion and the right modes in sync. And this is why I'm sort of like, although I sort of class myself as being a fair bit, I've been very ignorant with some of the technology, because I almost find it a little bit sort of, I suppose the limit of my interest is if I have to really read an instruction manual. I mean, who wants to read an instruction manual? You just want to plug it in, press play, and hello, here you are. But there's certain things these days that you can achieve more with an MP40 as an example. For me, probably my ignorance, I've not known that there's so many different modes that when you've got 3 or 4 different units working in sync or independently, you can create probably what 5 or 6 other power heads could achieve. It's kind of what I'm trying to say to you, Jamie. So I'm now having to explore what all these other modes are. And to be fair, it was the Nios behind me that got me looking at it, because this was giving too much flow for the torches and other stuff. So I was like, well, okay, there's all these different modes. I've always run an MP40 on the green mode. I think that's just constant, whatever that is.
That's
green
constant
color,
flow.
Constant flow. And now, to answer your question, Jamie, I've got this 9 foot, table with 4 MP40s, which I think should, on the right mode, give me the right flow. Leo's probably going to think differently. I just need to know what the mode is and what the settings are, really. So
bit of tweaking.
I only use Reef Crest. That's the only mode I use on every tank I own.
Yellow one.
Correct. So it's just a chaotic, fast-paced, but it does ramp right down and then all the way back up, and it's very chaotic.
Well, I've had one of the MP40s at the far end was working fine, and then halfway through the night, it just decided to change mode. I don't know how they do that. Don't know.
How I tend to do mine is I do Reef Crest as well all the time, and then at 9 p.m. I have 15 minutes of nutrient export, and it just goes like a washing machine. And
Yeah,
then
the nutrient transport mode, the blue mode.
that's it. Yeah, yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Come on, Leo. Flo, what do you reckon? What am I talking absolute?
Well, first of all, just buy all J-bow pumps. Just get rid of
Oh, I
the
forgot. We've got Mr. Jebau. Sorry.
Just, yeah, no Ecotech for sure.
Oh
And
dear, Liam's creaming in his pants right now on a Friday evening. Sorry, Mr. Jebau, I forgot you were back. Yes, here we are, Mr.
And,
Jebau. Yeah,
we actually run most pumps at random mode, so basically refreshed, and a few of them at a wave pulsing mode. So we combine the wave mode with the randomized reef press mode. So that's what we do in most tanks.
Long pulse mode is the pink one, Tom. I know you like a long pulse.
Yeah.
You understand what I mean, though, don't you? By sometimes too much technology, I think, can be a bad thing because it puts people off from trying it. It's almost like, is it making my collars move? Yes, right, that's good. I'll leave it. I don't want to mess anymore. And that's what I've been with I've been like that with the MP40s. Ignorantly, I know, but I have.
I'm not against the technology. I think it allows people far too much fuckery. So it's like, oh, will this be better? Will this get me this? Will this get me that?
Talked about lighting, didn't we? Like Leonardo was saying. Talked about
messing
lighting.
around.
You know.
Leave it alone.
There's
But
a
not
question
just
from
that. Go on, Leo.
question from Rama. Can you schedule J-bow pump? I think it depends. Some pumps that you can connect to Wi-Fi, you can actually schedule in the app. But all pumps that are not Wi-Fi, you cannot schedule. You can only just set the settings physically on the controller, but you cannot give them like 1 hour of extra pulse mode or 1 hour of feeding mode. But you can actually do that in the app. So if they're connectable to Wi-Fi, you can schedule that.
I'm not playing. Sorry, Joe. I'm not playing safely. Elise. Good evening. Hope you well. But for me, 4 power heads working is better than 3 power heads on the same program and 1 not working. So I've just got 4 working. So that's where I'm at the minute. I'll cross that bridge when I come to it. But yeah. Go on, Jenny,
are you finding some of your MP40s are actually the inside unit itself is spinning?
One of them, yes.
So what I've found the reason for that is that on the wet side, you've got the foam.
Yeah.
Then goes to the inside glass.
Yeah.
That foam eventually over time gets crushed. And there's a slightly raised point on the back of the wet side that then starts to stick through the foam. And when it magnetizes to your glass and the magnet on the outside
right. So it's the surface area, it's not got the same surface area basically from magnetism. So
if you change that foam pad, Bob's your uncle.
Or take the magnet out and change the housing for one with a better foam pad and put the magnet on. Yeah, right. Okay.
I harvest all of mine, right? So do you know the ceramic shaft always comes off the metal? They always eventually come off.
Leonardo's face, you harvest the shaft.
I just bought 8 J-bow pumps comparable to the MP60s with an extra wet side. So impeller, everything, 6 extra wet sides for €800.
Oh, Tom, do you have any badges and hats to give Leonardo, or will we just give him a wee round of applause?
No,
I don't understand why people still buy Ecotechs. Sorry.
Ooh, really?
Well, they have the fancy, colorful light. That's
the Ecotechs are really pricey, but I was just trying to find. I had a J-bow gyro. Which had
the gyres are a different story for sure.
Well, that wasn't necessarily the pump I was going to say, but the magnet is blown on both the magnets.
Oh, really?
It's maybe 3 years old. It's just I can't. I was going to reuse it. I took it out and I was like, oh Christ, look at this. So that's why. The only thing I've got about is the magnet's blown.
Do you clean them very often, or do you clean them at all? In vinegar or anything else?
When I clean it, I take the cages off and do that sort of clean. I don't
What do you set them in though? Vinegar or citric?
see that one got cleaned very. very
He
little
sits them
because
in
it's a fresh
citric
water
while he
tank.
has the vinegar stroke.
No, so that was in a fresh water tank, so it hardly got cleaned.
No, really.
All right, okay.
Because I think we have like 60, 70 Jebao pumps in total, and I never had any magnet go bad actually. So it's very weird. But I hear the story from other people, but we never clean the magnets, so that maybe that's the trick. I don't know.
Can I ask a controversial question? What is
Yeah.
everybody's opinion on the gyres or whatever brand of pump, but that sort of, let's call it a horizontal pump or power head? What's your opinion on magnets in the tank? As in a weir. Safe or not?
Using an external pump magnet in salt water.
You mean putting this bit underwater? This is the
Correct.
external magnet.
Yes.
It's the same as the inside part. It's fine.
Correct. I agree.
You think so? You say it's good. So
Yeah,
we're
of
saying
course.
yes. Okay.
Yeah.
We have it everywhere, so I hope it's good.
I use the Tunzi. The Tunzi magnets are absolutely amazing as well. They're completely watertight.
Yeah.
Really? If that's the case, I've got so much more possibility for mounting now.
Ooh, Jamie, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah. Most pumps we actually stick to the inside the overflow, so both magnets are underwater.
I've always been too scared to do that. That's interesting.
I'm contemplating using them in the display tank downstairs in the weir column for that exact reason, because of I've got the pumps as in the gyres, and the magnets would be quite easy to put in.
Yeah, I've got a gyre magnet. So I've got 2 MP40s underneath my racks on the back of the frag tank, 2 MP40s underneath the racks at the end of the tank, and then blowing back down the tank from the weir, I've got a gyre and the magnet is in the weir.
But when you finish with your sandwich, as Liam and Baby Dave are saying, put a sandwich bag. Put it in a sandwich bag.
Yeah,
I'm just curious. I've heard people do it and not had issues, but I've also had other people that have questioned whether or not it's worked. So yeah, curious.
You can get the really heavy duty sous vide bags that chefs use for cooking fish and stuff in water baths. So it's really heavy duty plastic, and the machine sucks the air out and puts a completely melted seal. That's a really good way of doing it.
Yeah.
There you go. So you can put a magnet in a tank.
Sous vide magnets. You heard it here first.
Wow.
That's a good idea, though.
It is. Leo, what's happening at the farm over the next few months? Any plans? Any special? Anything happening? Any?
Well, just to upgrade upstairs, and I think that's enough. You know, it's going to be 30, 40 meters of PVC. So in foot, 100 feet PVC, which I have to install a huge amount of electricity. I have to install, etc. So it's going to be a lot of work. Definitely will be finished somewhere September, October. So it's going to be something for the whole summer, and try to take a few days off actually. So
every day is a holiday in your shoes.
Nah, well, yes and no. Yeah.
Just out of curiosity, just to give us some idea of sort of not necessarily turnover, but I suppose of scale. How many frags do you normally ship out on a busy period? I know you said earlier you're a little bit quiet now, but what's your normal sort of turnaround in terms of stocking? What do you normally send out to people?
I'm not sure if I can share those numbers.
Okay.
Did you see the first video you put up, the wall of poly boxes in the background?
Yeah.
You can count them. Yeah.
I want you just run into that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah.
It doesn't want to answer.
You know,
okay,
it's the thing is
those poly boxes.
Yes.
Yeah. You know, even with a farm this big, you cannot have super high volume because those acros don't grow super fast, of course. So it's not gonna be 1,000 or something. No, for sure.
Wow. I'll tell you something. You were saying about the thing with the you talked about the flow, in terms of Jebao and obviously Ecotech.
Yeah.
So if you're that strong-minded when it comes to flow, you're running fairly expensive lighting equipment. Have you not tried a cheaper alternative
For lighting or for flow?
for lighting? So you've obviously used it. What the point I'm trying to make is that you're saying that it's not the be all and end all is of the Ecotech with the flashing lights, as you said earlier. So to sort of coin that phrase with regards to lighting, you're using a very expensive lighting fixture. What would you? You don't think?
Well, I first of all, I all bought them secondhand because everyone is so stupid to switch to LEDs. So I bought them for like I bought them for 200-300 euros for a 8x80 watt fixture. Probably 1/4 of the price of one new Radeon. So I definitely didn't spend a lot on lighting. And you have to think if you have to replace one of those 8x80 watt fixtures for Radeons, you definitely need 6 to 8. So that's going to be much more expensive, actually. So I think in the long run, maybe the T5s are a little bit more expensive in electricity and also the bulb changes. But the initial cost for full LEDs is so much higher. If we had to do the whole farm with Radeons, it would have costed like 30-40 grand. So that's money we definitely didn't have and still don't have. So that's basically the main reason I went for full T5, because it was much more affordable to start up for me.
I don't know what the pricing is for the electricity over there, but in terms of your running costs, have you looked at? Are you constantly looking at? I'm assuming as any business owner is, you're looking at you're looking at your overhead, looking at your costs of running that business. Anything on the market in terms of lighting or any other equipment that you think you could probably benefit from at the minute or moving forward?
Solar, surely.
Yeah, we have the whole roof full with solar, so that's already fully. The whole roof is fully covered, but it only covers 1/4 of the usage actually. So that's we maxed out that possibility basically. Other than that, I don't think we have much opportunity to change or improve. Maybe at some point we can convert to full LEDs, but definitely the price has to come down, or there has to be much more of a industrial or more farm solution for bigger scale. Because if I need like 60 Radeons, I need something else. I need the equivalent of a 400 watt metal halide, but then in LED. So if something like that comes out, I think Orfec has those very big light cannons or something like that. That will be actually interesting. So I can just light up a 3-meter tank with 4 lights. That would be interesting. But now all the LED lamps that are out there are much more hobby grade and not so much industrial or wholesale farm grade. So it doesn't really make sense to switch over.
Have you seen this? Have you seen one of the Strattons before?
Yeah, I've seen it, and I think for a home tank for the end consumer.
Oh, for the beginners, Ron. Clearly.
No, definitely not. I think they're one of the most beautiful lights, and also have very good spectral output and very good light spread, obviously. So I think they're a very good choice for sure. I think ATI always had very good light.
They're aesthetically nice, aren't they? They look crisp.
Yeah, aesthetically nice.
Yeah,
the quality is always very good. I think it's definitely one of the better LED lights out there. Yeah.
They can grow coral too.
Oh yeah, for
I
sure.
cannot believe the difference it's made. And I had 2 Radians over that system, and
I think I've made mind up to get one here. I think I've read so much good stuff and spoke to a lot of people on this chat about who's got Strattons, and said they really are.
It's the fact they're silent as well, though, Jamie. It's not just the aesthetics and what they're doing for corals. My tank is right there at my desk.
Yeah.
And it's just total silent.
Yeah.
No fans in profile.
I'm going to take some photos of a couple of the corals in there. I know the lights have just gone off now on cue. But I think I've noticed more with that light than I have with any other light I've owned in terms of changes. Maybe that's because I spend more time looking at it than I have done in previous tanks. But certainly the growth is because I missed that because I don't get to see that downstairs. I don't get to look at the sort of look down in the tank with it having the helmet and being built in. But on that one, I do. And yeah, there's a couple of coals there that have grown for sure. So anyway, right then, gentlemen, we're up to the 2 hour mark. Happy Friday. We've still got a couple of hours upon us, should I say, of this Friday evening. Leo, listen, mate, thank you ever so much for finding the time to come and join us.
Yeah, of course.
We really do appreciate it.
Yeah.
I really don't know why you keep coming back, but thank you ever so much for the charity.
That's some sort of self-torture, I think. I don't know.
No, the person just off camera with the pistol might have something to do with it.
I'll tell you what his torture is going through Leonardo's website, and he ships to every single European country, bar bloody the UK. That's torture.
Good old
I can't, unfortunately.
Nope.
I cannot.
Oh, dear.
Tom, do you have a stream on Sunday?
We do have a stream on Sunday. So, yes, we've got Samo Sunday. We've got Sam Parker and Mo Majid. I called it Samo Sunday.
Sandwich.
Yes, Samo Sandwich. We've got Sam Parker and Mo Majid on. Myself and Josh will be having a catch up. Yes, on Sunday. Should be a good stream. Please join us for that. Ron, anything happening with Reef AF?
Yeah, we've got Salty Banter live tomorrow night.
Hey, what time's that on?
8 o'clock tomorrow night.
Okay, so if you want to tune in on the Reef AF channel, watch it live.
Yeah,
comment,
join in the comments. Give us some hassle. Throw us some insults.
Good. You should get Leo on for a tank tour. That'd be good.
Yes, Leo.
He's nodding. There you go. Buy it.
Would you give us a farm tour?
Well, when? Tomorrow?
No.
Have to be tomorrow. Does it have to be tomorrow?
Well, if it's a little bit earlier, because now the whole farm is already dark. But if it's a little bit early in the day, I can definitely give you a live tank tour for sure.
We can work around any time you want, Leo.
Oh, perfect. Maybe on a Sunday one day.
Oh, sounds good.
Sounds good.
All right.
Awesome. Right. Well, good evening from me. Good evening from Leo. Good evening from Jamie. Good evening from Ron.
Everybody, have an amazing weekend, and thank you for joining in, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We'll see you all Sunday. Take care. Enjoy your weekend. Bye-bye.